Friends, welcome back to the class. So today we will going to discuss some numerical on the Graham's law of diffusion and kinetic theory of gases. Now take the first case. 80 ml of ammonia gas diffuses out from a vessel in 8 minutes at this temperature and at a pressure of 500 mmHg. How long it will take 40 ml of a gas to diffuse out under same condition of temperature and pressure. So everyone knows that rate is equal to volume of the gas divided by time taken. Okay, are you sure about that? So rate of ammonia will be 80 divided by 8 minutes, while rate of gas X is 40 by T. So what you will write? You will write rate of ammonia divided by rate of gas X will be molar mass of X by molar mass of ammonia. Now rate of ammonia will be 80 by 8 into, it is T by 40. Molar mass of gas X is given 68. Molar mass of ammonia is 17. So it is 40 into 2. So it comes out to 1 by 4. T by 4 into 4 by 1. So by this way T again comes out to be same, that is 8 minutes. So in both the cases time comes out to be the same. Now look at the second question. In the second question it is given that 1 liter of the gaseous mixture if used out in 5 minutes and 11 seconds, while 1 liter of pure oxygen takes 10 minutes to diffuse out under similar conditions. If the gas mixture contains methane and hydrogen, what is the composition of the mixture? What is the composition of the mixture that you have to find out? Okay, so total time taken for the mixture is 5 minutes plus 11 seconds. So 500 means here is 300 plus 11. So total there will be 311 seconds. While time taken by oxygen is equal to what? Time taken by oxygen is equal to exactly 10 minutes. So it comes out to be how much? So it comes out to be 1 minute has 60 seconds, so it comes out to be 600 seconds. So volume of mixture and volume of O2 is same. So you can take rate of O2 by rate of mixture is equal to molar mass of mixture by molar mass of O2. So what is the answer now? So rate will be volume by volume of O2 by time taken by O2, time taken by mixture by volume of mixture, molar mass of the mixture by molar mass of oxygen, that is 32. Volume is same, so both will cancel out. T mixture is 311 and oxygen time is 600. So it is molar mass of mixture divided by 32. So when you solve it by squaring it, it is 311 into 311 molar mass of the mixture divided by 32. So when you cross multiply it, the answer comes out to be how much? So molar mass of the mixture comes out to be 8.6. It comes out to be 8.6. Okay, sure about that? Now everyone knows that molar mass of methane is 16 and molar mass of hydrogen is 2. Okay, so volume ratio and number of moles ratio will be same. Why? Because under identical condition of temperature and pressure, equal volume contain equal moles. So we will do by number of moles. So molar mass of the mixture will be equal to number of moles of methane into molar mass of methane plus number of moles of hydrogen into molar mass of hydrogen divided by total number of moles. So I will take X as the methane into its molar mass 16 plus 100 minus X as hydrogen into its molar mass 2 divided by 100, that is number of moles of both of them. Molar mass mixture is 8.6. So when you solve it, okay, after the solution, the value of X comes out to be 47.14 and 100 minus X comes out to be 52.86. That is the percentage, volume percentage of methane and that is percentage of hydrogen. Are you getting that in your mind now? Sure? So I think you are pretty much sure. So that's how you will get the answer. Now look at that. From one end of the tube we introduce the ammonia gas and from the second end we introduce the HCl gas, and they are under identical condition of temperature and pressure. You have to tell that at what distance from the end A from which HCl has been introduced the dense fumes of ammonium chloride first appear. So let us suppose this is the distance C, that is X centimeter away from A, and the BC will be 100 minus X centimeter. So rate proportional to the distance traveled. Okay, so in first case rate of ammonia by rate of HCl is equal to molar mass of HCl by molar mass of ammonia. So what is rate? That is the distance traveled by ammonia. How much is that? Distance traveled by ammonia is 100 minus X. Distance traveled by HCl is X. Molar mass of HCl is what? Molar mass of HCl is 36.5 and molar mass of the ammonia is 17. So it comes out to be 2.13 under root. Okay, sure about that? So 1.21 is under root near about what? Near about the 1.4 and 1.5. So it comes out to be 1.46. 100 minus x, cross multiply it. So it is 2.46 100. So x is 100 by 2.46. So it is 100 divided by 2.46. So it comes out to be 40.65. So x comes out to be how much? 40.65. So x is 40 point. So x is the distance from A. So from HCl end, that is A, 40.65 centimeter ammonium chloride first appears. Now let's suppose we look at one question that in a tank that is at total pressure PT, there are 4 moles of methane plus there are 2 moles of oxygen gas is there. Now since the number of moles of both the gases are different, and so the partial pressure of the each gas is different. Because why? Because temperature and volume is same but partial pressure will be different. So partial pressure of methane will be mole fraction of methane into P total, and partial pressure of hydrogen will be mole fraction of O2 into P total. So what is mole fraction of air? It is number of moles of A by N total into P total, and number of moles of oxygen by N total into P total. So rate of methane by rate of oxygen will be partial pressure of methane by partial pressure of O2 but inverse of their molar masses. So it means everything is same. So when we multiply this thing, everything will happen. So pressure proportional to what? Number of moles of the methane taken, because everything else, when we divide both of them, everything else is same. So what is the answer here? So 4 by 2 divided by molar mass of oxygen is 32, molar mass of methane is 16. So answer is 2 root 2. I am repeating once more. When you divide this whole term by this whole term, everything will cancel out each other. PT will cancel out PT, NT will cancel out NT, and you are getting the value 2 root 2. Now we will discuss about the kinetic theory of gases. Before that, we got a new kind of theory that is called as kinetic molecular theory. The kinetic molecular theory is the single set of descriptive characteristics of a substance known as an ideal gas. All real gas requires their own unique sets of descriptive characteristics. Considering the large number of known gases in the world, the task of describing each one of them individually would be a very difficult task. In order to simplify the task, the scientific community has decided to create an imaginary gas that approximates the behavior of all real gases. In all other words, ideal gas substance that does not exist. Remember that ideal gas is a substance that does not exist. I am repeating the line once more. Ideal gas is the substance that does not exist. The kinetic molecular theory describes that gas, while the use of the ideal gas in describing all real gases means that description of all real gases will be wrong. The reality is that description of the real gas will be close enough to correct any error. So you know that A real gas can behave like an ideal gas at extremely low pressure and extremely high temperatures. So you can say that ideal gas is a very thoughtful ideal case of a real gas. Okay, since real and ideal gas does not exist, sure about that or not? So Bernoulli, Maxwell, and Boltzmann, they devised a theory that is known as the kinetic theory of gases. Kinetic theory of gases is a theoretical model that describes the molecular composition of a gas in terms of a large number of submicroscopic particles, which includes atoms and molecules. Further, the theory explains that the gas pressure is due to the collision among each other and with the wall of the container. Kinetic theory of gases also defines properties such as temperature, viscosity, thermal conductivity, and all these properties are related to each other in a microscopic phenomenon. The significance of the theory is that it helps in developing a correlation between macroscopic and microscopic phenomenon. In real terms, the kinetic theory of gases also helps to study the action of the molecules. Generally, the molecules of gases are always in motion and they tend to collide with each other and with the wall of the container. Now, go through the kinetic theory of gases postulates. The various postulates are given below. The kinetic theory of gases consider atoms or molecules moving like a point masses with huge interparticle distances. They may undergo perfect elastic collisions. Implication of these assumptions are given to you now. Particles. So gas is made up of large number of atoms or molecules. Point masses. Atom or molecules making up the gas are very small, like point on the paper. Negligible volume particles. Particles are generally far apart, such that their interparticle distance is much larger than the particle size. I am repeating once more. Interparticle distance is much larger than the particle size. There is a large free unoccupied space in the container. Okay, there is a large free unoccupied space in the container. Compared to the volume of the container, the volume of the particle is negligible. This is the main point. The volume of the size of the molecule is negligible in comparison to the volume of the container. Nil force of attraction. Particles are independent, they do not have any attractive or repulsive interaction among themselves. Particles always in motion. The particles are always in constant motion because of lack of interaction and free space available. The particles randomly move in all directions but in a straight line. In all direction but in a straight line. In all direction but in a straight line. That is very, very important. Are you sure about that? Okay, so you have to keep an eye on that. Next is about mean free path. This is the average distance traveled by the particle in between the two collisions. Kinetic energy of the particles. Since the particles are always in motion, they have average kinetic energy proportional to the temperature of the gas. So you can say velocity proportional to the square root and kinetic energy proportional to the temperature. Velocity proportional to square root of temperature and kinetic proportional to the temperature. Are you sure about that? Constancy of energy and momentum. Moving particles may collide with each other in a container, but the collisions are perfectly elastic. Collisions do not change the energy or momentum of the particle. The pressure of the gas. Collision of the particle on the wall of the container exert a force on the wall of the container. Force per unit area is the pressure. Force per unit area is the pressure. The pressure of the gas is proportional to the number of particles colliding in unit time per unit area on the wall of the container. So it means the number of collisions per unit volume, they determine the pressure. The kinetic theory of gases, that is very, very important point. Okay, very, very important point, most important I think so. The kinetic theory of gas postulate are useful in understanding the macroscopic, means measurable, macroscopic property from the microscopic properties, that we can measure the properties from some imaginary thinking. Microscopic things we can't see, but macroscopic we can see and we can observe and we can note down. So macroscopic properties which can be observed, which can be, whose record can be maintained. Microscopic properties means, okay, which are non-observable, but the kinetic theory of gases give us the microscopic properties, by using what we can get nearly the exact macroscopic properties. Theory of gases. Gaseous particles are sizeless related to the volume of the gas. Gas particles in constant random motion. Gas particles shows elastic collision, means no kinetic energy lost. The absolute temperature is proportional to the kinetic energy. The gas particle do not attraction with each other, so though no interparticle force is present. The basic point of this canonical theory is that amount of gas molecule is negligible in comparison to space which they are transferred. Gas molecules run in a straight line between continuous collision with the container of the wall of the container and with itself. All collisions are elastic, no energy is lost. Negligible forces acting among the molecules. Average kinetic energy is proportional to the temperature. Now after that we will do the derivation of the kinetic theory of gases. Now in this case what will you do? M is the mass of the particle, mu x will be the speed along x-axis, mu y will be the speed along y-axis, and along z-axis mu z is the speed. Mu z is the speed along z-axis, mu y is the speed along y-axis, mu x is the speed of particle of mass m along the x-axis. Okay, L is the length of, or you can say side of the cubical block. So now we will derive the kinetic theory of gases. Will give you derivation of kinetic gas equation. Okay, so these are two. This is first wall, that is opposite wall. Okay, so molecule go in between this. Okay, so m is the mass of the particle. M is the mass of the particle, and it is moving along x-axis with a momentum that is P is equal to m mu x. Okay, so what is happening there now? The particle is moving towards this direction. The particle is moving in this direction with the velocity mu x. Okay, sure about that or not? And when the particle goes from here to here, it will again come back. After collision, it will get reversed. So in vector, if A to B is called as P, then B to A would be called as minus P. I think in vector algebra you already know all those terms. Okay, when the vector is reversed, okay, its value get negative. So what you will get now, that when it starts from wall A and will go towards wall B, on striking the wall, second, it bounce back with the same momentum. So it is going from A to B. Earlier it is going A to B. Now it will go from, after striking, it will return back. It means first it will go from A to B, now it will go from B to A. So now with the same momentum, but now the momentum, so it is P1, so it becomes P2. Now the P2 is equal to minus MUX. So you can say that change in momentum, that is delta P is what? P1 minus P2. So what is P1 minus P2? P1 is MUX, P2 is minus MUX. So minus minus become plus, so it becomes 2MUX. Okay, that is the change in momentum. So change in momentum can also covered as a force. Yes or no? Are you okay with the situation now? So what will happen now? So time taken to do a collision. So it is distance by speed. So number of collisions number of collisions per minute will be what? Per second, sorry. Will be 1 by time taken. Okay, that is 1 by t now. That is frequency. So change in momentum per second per volume, it will be what? Will be MUX into MUX by L is 2MU square X by L. So that is happening in all the direction. That is happening along Y and Z axis also. So total change in what? Total change in okay, we can do it afterward also. So you can say that now total change in momentum per unit time is 2m mu square x by L plus 2m square uy by L plus 2m u square z by L. So it is 2m by L u square x u square z. So it is 2m u square by L. Now it comes out, so it is, so pressure is equal to force by area. So force is change in momentum is force, so it is 2m u square by L divided by area is 6 side square. So if you have 6 side square, so it is 2m u square L by 6L square. So it is 2m u square by 6L square. So it is 1 by 3 mu square by L cube. So L cube comes out to be how much? L cube is volume. So it comes out to be how much it is comes out. P is equal to, so if there are n number of molecules, so it comes out to be how much? It comes out to be half nm u square by v comes out to be how much? It is 1 by 3, because 2 6 the 3. So if there are n is the total number of molecules in the system, so it is 1 by 3 nm u square into pv. So it is multiply by 2 divide by 2 mu square. So it comes out to be 2 by 3 n half mu square. So if it is the kinetic energy, this is the kinetic energy of n number of particles. Okay, sure about that or not? So you can say that 2 by 3 n half mu square, it becomes what? It becomes kinetic energy of all the particles. So it becomes 2 by 3 kinetic energy of all the particles present in the system equal to PV. And everyone knows that PV is equal to RT, or you can say nRT. So it comes out to be nRT by 2 by 3 kinetic energy. So kinetic energy present in the system will be what? 3 by 2 number of particle RT. And average, for one molecule, what will happen? For one molecule, the value will be what? So for one molecule, it is 3 by 2 nRT. Kinetic energy becomes what? It becomes kinetic energy average. Okay, so for 1 mole it is RT. For 1 mole it is RT. For one molecule, that is for 1 mole. That is for n mole. And that is for 1 molecule. For 1 molecule, you divide the value by Avogadro number. what is Avogadro number? 6.02 10 power 23. So it is 3 by 2 kT, where K is called the Boltzmann constant. So K is called here Boltzmann constant. So this value stands for average kinetic energy for one molecule. For one molecule, average kinetic for one. This is the energy for 1 mole of the particle. That is the energy for any n number of particles. Okay. So again look at the phenomenon. So it is 1 by 3 nm u square by v. So it will cross multiply. So this is kinetic gas equation for n number of particles in a system. Okay, you multiply by 2, divide by 2, multiply 2, divide by 2, you will get this answer. This is value. So if it is the total kinetic energy of all the molecules taken together, so PV is equal to nRT according to the kinetic gas ideal gas equation. So you put there and multiply. So please go through that very carefully. So now you have one more thing you can get. Kinetic depends upon temperature. So one is this. So you have to, first of all, you have to memorize this. This is the first thing you have to memorize. Okay, up to this it is every. Okay, sure about that or not? Now again looking back at this answer, PV is equal to 2 by 3 KE. Now KE proportional to temperature. It is kinetic gas equation. So KE is equal to what? K dash T. So you can take 2 by 3 K dash T is equal to PV. That is the kinetic gas equation. So when you take what? So when you take temperature constant, PV becomes equal to 2 by 3 is constant, K dash constant, T is constant. So PV become constant. Similarly, PV is equal to K dash 2 by 3 KT dash. So if V by T is equal to 2 by 3 K dash P. So in the previous case you have PV equal to constant. Boyle's law is satisfied. Now here V by T becomes constant. So now what is happening? Now Charles' law is satisfied. Okay, now what is happening? Charles' law is satisfied. Similarly, if you take here PV equal to 1 by 3 mn u square, under identical condition of temperature and pressure, what can happen if temperature and pressure? So kinetic depends upon temperature. I'm repeating once more. PV is equal to 2 by 3 half nmu square. So take here n common. So u square, that is kinetic energy. So that is kinetic energy which depends upon temperature. So 2 by n kT will be the constant here. So if temperature and pressure remains constant, volume proportional to number of moles. So that is Avogadro rule. So all gases rule can be satisfied. Charles rule satisfied. Boyle's rule satisfied. Okay, sure about that. So all of these rules are satisfied by using what? By using kinetic gas equation. So all gases law can be proved. All gases law can be proved by using kinetic gas equation. So please go through this. Okay, memorize only postulates. Derivation will not come to your exam. So please go through the postulates. 7 postulates I told you in the first case. You should go through that.